Hey everybody, welcome to the Territory War video blog series, part 2. Today I want to cover the weapons that are returning from the previous game, and I'll show you guys a little bit of the city stage. I posted a couple screenshots, but I'll go ahead and start up a match here and you guys can see a little more of it. Artwork, as always, by the amazing Poxpower. So last time I covered the graveyard stage, and I told you guys about the grenades. I'll go ahead and skim over the grenades again, and then I'll go into the other weapons that are making a return from the previous game. So, like I mentioned before, grenades are pretty much the standard weapon in Territory War. Nothing too crazy here. The one thing I did add, though, is forward and backspin. So, like if you do you can press F and B, and you can see that changes that little arrow there. And once you throw a spin, sometimes it can be hard to see, but the grenade will kind of shoot forward in that case because I put forward spin on it. And if I do it over here, I can do some backspin, and if I toss it up here, it should bounce backward toward the guys. So, I just hope that's something that comes in handy for matches, and something you guys can make some use out of. So, those are the grenades. Let's see. Excuse me. Next up is the RPG. In the last game, of course, it was just called the Rocket. I changed it to the RPG in this one. I just thought it was a more accurate title, and kind of changed up the graphics on it to make it look a little more like an actual rocket-propelled grenade. Last game it was sort of just like a floating rocket. So, in this game, there's been a couple major changes to the RPG. Most notably is the fact that the RPG is no longer quite the long distance weapon it was in the previous game. I did feel the rocket in the previous game was a little bit cheap because once you fired it, it almost worked like a sniper rifle. It flew in a straight line and pretty much homed in directly on its target. Well, not homed in, but went in a straight line. In this game, the rocket has a more realistic effect where if you fire it, it'll spiral around a little bit like that. So it's still definitely useful for long range, but after a certain period of time, it'll sort of go out of control, and you won't be able to target something so far away. So for example, this guy up here, if I fire a rocket, you'll see it'll go, and after a little bit, it kind of loses control and flies off the screen. So definitely still has the damage. Direct hits are pretty lethal, and but you probably won't be able to sit across from one side of the screen and fire directly into a small place on the other side to do specific damage. So, and again, you can see if you fire it, it'll go up and just kind of spiral out of control a little bit and fly off. So that's the RPG. Damage-wise, I believe it's pretty much the same. It's just the most of the changes are aesthetic and the fact that it has the spiral. So, next up is the boot. Boot is pretty much has remained unchanged. Pretty much same thing. You bring up the boot and you can kick someone with it. I suppose the path, I changed the path a little bit to be more outward, more horizontal. So it's sort of I changed the animation. It's almost kind of looks like a Sparta kick, I guess. But yeah, the boot is more of a horizontal trajectory as opposed to just a kind of a, I don't even know what it was in the last game, but you can see it kind of knocks him off like that. So, yeah, nothing too crazy there. Pretty much standard stuff. So that's the boot. Let's see, let's take a look at the list. Next up I have the build wall and build platform. In this game I decided to condense them into the same tool. So when you bring that up, you'll see a couple changes. One, there's now a visible build radius around you. So in the previous game you could build on pretty much anywhere on the screen your character could see. In this game the mouse automatically moves around unless you see the screen, so I also put in a dotted line showing where you can and can't build at. And by condensing them into the same tool, basically I've made it so that by pressing shift, you can take that and rotate it around. So you have your wall, you have your platform, or if you want, you can do a 45-degree angle girder, or just whatever you would want to call it. So, yeah, condensed into one tool, and overall I'd say more useful, I would hope. So Of course, if you try to build outside, you'll get the red flash. You can't build outside the indicator, you cannot build on top of players, and you cannot build too far outside of the stage. So you can just shift or to rotate around the way you want and have yourself a platform like that. My only sort of concern was I'm hoping that the angled platform doesn't become too useful for trapping, which always seemed to be kind of an annoying thing in the previous game. But one thing I did to hopefully counteract some of that is, which brings us to the pickaxe. The pickaxe has had an extended range on it, so now it's much easier if you're being trapped or if you're stuck somewhere. It's much easier to build or to dig your way out of it. And as you can see here, you can also rotate the actual the impact zone of the pickaxe. So you can kind of build down, or sorry, I keep saying build. You can pick down, you can pick up to the side, pretty much anywhere you need to aim it. You can start digging in that direction. So. And so yeah, with the bigger range, hopefully it's not so annoying to try and get out of a trapped situation or anything like that. So I think that covers the returning weapons. So as far as the ones from the previous game, you'll probably notice I didn't mention the impact grenade and the rifle. That's because they are sort of being replaced, but I won't go into that just yet. They basically have equivalent weapons, and I think I'll cover that in another time. But aside from those two, everything else is coming back, and there's still a couple more new weapons that I haven't even mentioned yet. So there's that. If we want to take a look around the stage, I can show you guys. Oh, turns up just a sec. I can show you guys the rest of the stage here. Got the crane on the right side, building under construction, kind of an office zone in the middle, and just some buildings over here. So yeah, I suppose that about covers it. As far as next time, let me know what you guys want to see. I mean, I can either cover a new stage or some weapons or maybe one of the game modes. So yeah, post a comment, let me know what you want to see, and of course, as always, if you want to follow the progress of the game, you can do the Facebook and Twitter thing. I'll leave all the links in the description, and I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.